What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Pat Benatar, and we're moving on to Crimes of Passion 1980. Though the first two tracks, Treat Me Right and You Better Run, I've already reacted to as part of the, Best Shots, Greatest Hits compilation. Thank you again to Mr. Solo. But yes, we're on to a new album, and the third track on the album is Never Wanna Leave You. So yeah, it feels like the at least general meaning here is pretty clear. The idea of being involved with someone and not ever wanting to walk away from that or leave that situation. Now, to be fair, it's not the whole story. Like, we don't know how the other person is feeling. Maybe the other person wants to break up, and the narrator's saying, well, I never want to leave you. But it feels more likely that it is a declaration of commitment to something that is still in a good place. That's how I would read it. Of course, it may be more complicated in practice. Let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Pat Benatar. The tune is Never Wanna Leave You, and it's from her 1980 album Crimes of Passion. It was bold to leave that cycling, almost chaotic riff for the last minute or so of the tune, in that it's the kind of bit that you would think might come in for a moment just to indicate this difficult mental situation, which I think relates to the lyrics. More on that in a minute. But no, they just wrote it all the way to the end, which feels like it's going to be a bit more intense for a casual listener. But okay, so lyrically, I'm in two minds. At first I was like, oh wait, maybe it is her who wants to leave because he makes it so difficult. but she also doesn't want to leave. So then, like, halfway through is like, oh, like, you know, you're the one I want, or the one I need, and I'm the one you want. And so then it's like, oh, like, you know, maybe it is complicated, and maybe they're seeking different things, but she doesn't want to leave. And then by the end again, it was like, wait, like, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure exactly what their status is. Her sentiment that she never wants to leave, that's clear enough no matter what the other, or what the specific dynamic is. But yeah, it felt like it's a more complicated relationship, and apparently, like, he makes it difficult for her. Now, it's a question of whether that's intentionally, it's a question of whether he feels conflicted, or whether he's all for it because he wants her, but because of his nature or his behavior, she finds it more challenging and is maybe inclined to leave but doesn't want to do so. So yeah, I'm not quite sure how to read it, but, you know, on an album, Crimes of Passion, it feels like maybe it is complicated. At the very least, it didn't seem to be a, like, we're both so into this, I never want to leave you, and it's all good and great. It didn't feel like that was the vibe. But yeah, like a rock tune, maybe not as edgy as a couple of the ones we heard on the previous album, though having said that, that riff in the last 45 seconds or so was so intense, it felt like someone's, you know, frantic mind just being unsettled, so that did make it a bit more edgy. But yeah, it wasn't as, like, hard rock sounding as a couple on her first album. Either way, I'm looking forward to this. Once again, shout out to Mr. Solo, who provided the earliest Pat Benatar material we went through, though I have this memory, I just did a music video reaction to her video for We Belong. It's over on my Patreon. I think it might be embargoed for another day or two, I'm not sure. But if you're a full member, you can watch it now, and at the very least, within a few days, you should be able to see it, like, fully publicly. But I said when I did that reaction, I was trying to remember, I think maybe We Belong, I mean, it could have just been on the Best Shots compilation, and surely it was, but I had this sense that I might have reacted to it as part of this, like, 80s compilation. It's called, like, Sights and Sounds of the 80s. I think it might be like a Time Life compilation. But yeah, I know I reacted to Sunglasses at Night, the Corey Hart tune, and I wondered if the We Belong song was also from that. Either way, I did just react to that music video, so you can check it on my Patreon. And yeah, we'll keep going through Crimes of Passion here. I'll make sure not to repeat anything that I did already react to. As I said, the first 2 tracks on this album were ones I had already done. So, in any case, let me know what you think. I'll see you next time. Peace.